Welcome to Artist Decoded. I'm your host, Yoshino. It is currently Monday, March 27th, 2023 at 2:42 p.m. and I am in Curitiba, Brazil. I want to announce a new project that I'm going to be releasing called Yoshino's Diary, which is on Substack. And it's a mixture of my writing and photography, along with a sort of new podcast of sorts, because I've been meeting some people on my travels through Mexico and South America, and they strike me to be incredibly interesting, from the punks that I've met in Curitiba to some of the MMA fighters that I've been training with and documenting some of their training and some of their fights. And the lifestyle that they lead, I think, is quite fascinating. The dedication involved in that. But also people such as my Spanish teacher, Anushka Maracho. And in general, she's just such a pleasant person, but she has such a compelling story as well, where she got stranded, I believe it was for 30 to 40 days out in sea when she was traveling in her sailboat from Barcelona across the Atlantic. And I'd love to just share these stories with you because they're just really interesting and very compelling. And I feel like a lot of people would get value out of that. And so this Substack is a way for me to share that with people. If you want to subscribe to it, you can do so at yoshino.substack.com. I'll be posting there at least once a week, anywhere from essays to my poetry to photos and these interviews. So check there. And I want to give people a bit of a preview of the audio form of an essay that I wrote out here in Curitiba. It's called Wandering and Wondering. So here it is. I spent a lot of time in my life exploring curiosities, giving my time and attention to understanding how things function. I believe the power of being an artist contains multitudes in the way in which we express our observations. The confidence to spread that out to others is something I have been trying to consistently channel. As William S. Burroughs once said, "Nothing exists until or unless it is observed." An artist is making something exist by observing it, and their hope for other people is that they will also make it exist by observing it. I call it creative observation. Traditional educational structures tend to encourage the process of memorizing and repeating information without giving people the space to develop critical thinking skills. This Pavlovian conditioning to strive and become a productive member of society can lead to monetary rewards, while popular media reinforces these desires. It is part of the consensus trance, which further homogenizes the human experience and separates us from who we truly are. What are we becoming when distractions sprinkle glitter between the sulcus of our brains, as we are drawn away by the cavernous seductions that dilute our senses? My creative observations have led me to believe in the power of deepening one's intuition and holding space for a balanced existence. I find catharsis within the yin and yang, accepting that polarities exist within everyone, as we all vibrate and undulate in a congruent equilibrium. One of the key insights of quantum physics is that everything in the universe, including humans, is made up of particles that are constantly vibrating. These vibrations give rise to energy, and the frequency of the vibrations determines the amount of energy that is present. From a human perspective, quantum physics suggests that our thoughts and emotions are also forms of energy and vibrations. This has led to the development of the idea that we can influence the world around us through our thoughts and intentions. As my intuition deepens, I hone my abilities to critically think and allow existing information to inform my observations of abstract reality. This journal is more than a documentation of my reality, and I hope others will be able to find glimpses of themselves within the folds. Perhaps we all can create a heightened value structure as a conversation coagulates and solidifies. And with all that said, within this crucial dissection of experience, I also believe in the simplicity of being, and to not overly intellectualize existence, but to find wonder and amazement from the presentness in the here and now. Do not wait for life. Do not long for it. Be aware always and at every moment that the miracle is in the here and now. Marcel Proust. A few years ago, I was spending time with a friend and her family in Central California. It was towards the end of the summer on a swelteringly hot day. A few days prior, there were record-breaking temperatures, which seems to be common as the effects of climate change become more apparent. I remember seeing heat waves ripple in the distance as we walked toward the park under the protective shielding of the lively oak trees. Along the way, I noticed my friend's 2-year-old nephew was collecting sticks. At the time, it was his favorite activity while venturing to the park. I watched as he would pick each one up with careful consideration, running his stubby little fingers across the curves and ridges. Some he would discard, others he would want to keep. He giggled and squirmed as he ran the tips of his fingers across a twig covered in moss. Whenever he decided that a stick was adequate enough to keep, he would pass it off to me as if I were his assistant in this archaeological endeavor. He trotted around and awkwardly ran to new objects. Sometimes he would fall and get back up without a care or consideration for how dirty he was getting. I wonder what was going on in his beautiful little brain, such innocence and amazement for the subtleties of his surroundings. Watching him having so much excitement playing made me remember how simple and joyful life can be, and how as adults we tend to overcomplicate our lives with unnecessary needs and wants. Moments like this remind me of the teachings of the Tao. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. Lao Tzu. But what belongs to us when we allow outside forces to strip us of our identities? We all have gifts to share. We are all beautiful and precious, just like this little child. We were once there, young, innocent, and unscathed from the toxicity of modern experience. Do moments such as this not reveal how precious this life can be? When art is no longer lost in abstract thought, as we witness the essence of life unfold before our eyes. We are all that child, every one of us is. May we remind ourselves that this life is simultaneously complex and simple. Today I will pause and relax within my observations and reflections. To live another day is a blessing and a gift. So that was my essay, Wandering and Wondering. You can find it and subscribe on Yoshino's Diary, which is on Substack, yoshino.substack.com. I hope you enjoyed this. You can also see some images that I put of mine on the Substack as well. And like the article says, I hope you all have a magnificent and beautiful day, and I hope that you don't forget that you are an amazing person, and you deserve all that this world has to offer. And so may I encourage you today to reach out and grab it, and to have the courage to believe in yourself, because you are a powerful being and you are uniquely important. And I don't want you to forget that. So that's my little Mr. Rogers moment, but you all mean a lot to me, and I mean that. Hope you have a great day, and speak to you later.